Guest on Be Yourself, Do It Yourself is my longtime homie, Blass 89.
Yo.
What's good, bro? For anybody who may be just tuning into this podcast for the first time, because even though we're live right now, this will be on the streaming platforms at some point.
Facts.
If you're tuning in, it is August 30th. We are 2020. We are here doing a 24-hour live stream to help our friend Robin raise some funds to do a mural in Queens, New York, a really cool, like, civically engaged mural, and then more from there. Hopefully more past Queens, and he can bring them into Yonkers and then and Westchester and all that. But he's actually painting Blass. He's painting this face that you might have been seeing all day. But yeah, this is the Be Yourself, Do It Yourself podcast. This podcast, I'm gonna explain this to you, Blass, because you know it's new and maybe you probably haven't heard it yet.
I'm too big for you.
Yeah. This podcast basically is what is in the title, and I'm just talking to homies that I think do the thing, and they do it with authenticity, and they do it because they want to be doing it, and they love to do it, and telling their stories and talking about our connection and all that.
That's dope.
I don't plan the conversations; we just sit down and have them.
I mean, homies, you know.
Yeah, bro. It's like that's it. It's easy. It's easy game. So let's start. All right, let's start with how you and I met. How about that?
Do you remember?
I remember. I don't remember like the day we met, but I remember the early stages, and I remember how we met. Okay. I know we met through our mutual friend Gina.
Yes.
Shouts out Gina.
Shout out to Gina.
We met. So I don't remember this timeline. So you played a show we put together at the Yonkers skate park.
Yeah.
Years ago. It's probably one of your first shows.
Yeah, it might have been
early.
like my third or fourth.
Yeah, early.
Yeah.
But I know I also...
My first one was with Candace. Shout out to Candace.
Oh, right, at Manhattanville.
At Manhattanville.
Right. But because I saw you at the I think it was called the New Eurekan.
Yeah, the Post Cafe.
I saw you there because I went with Gina, and I remember Ant was there, and Marzi was there, and all those guys were there too. So that's probably my personal earliest memory of
which was like the beginning of our journey, honestly. So you were there from the jump.
Yeah, that was my earliest, because I remember Gina just being like, "Yo, this is."
I'm trying to think what year that was too.
It's got to be 12, maybe.
No, I started in 14, so maybe 14. But I didn't start doing shows until maybe 15. I don't know.
Oh, it's later. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Cool.
All right, so it's later than I thought. I thought it was like, dude.
Well, my memory was bad.
Bro, dude, I've been doing this music thing for way too long.
I know.
I don't nothing blurred. And also, like, when I have close friends or friends that I made through this, I always assume that I met them in like 2005.
Let me tell you something. I can't remember anybody. I'm sure I shook people's hands outside. I was like, "Nice to meet you," and then afterwards, I was like, "I've definitely met that person before." I'm a fucking dick.
It's cool, dude. I do the same thing. I'm horrible.
My memory is just
I'm bad with names. I'm pretty good with faces. I'm pretty good with faces. I'm pretty bad with names.
I just say hello, nice to meet you. Oh, I met you before. I'm sorry. That's all I say. I'm sorry.
Nice to meet you. Well, anybody that's been sitting in the backyard today has all been seeing you because we've been looking at your face all day.
I know. I'm sorry about that.
Anybody watching the stream has been looking at your face all day.
I'm so sorry about that.
It's gonna be sick. So that's my earliest memory of us meeting.
Wow, New Eurekan Poets Cafe. That's crazy.
Yeah. So dude, what was the jam then? You maybe don't want to say. I remember there was like a jam that people knew by you, like that.
Yeah. So we had formed, or I had joined. I guess they were trying to make this collective or this label called Adamant Records.
Okay.
And it was Gino, who's from Yonkers, and Huff, who's from Yonkers. Huff.
Yep.
I still keep in contact with.
Went to high school, both of those guys. They're a little older than me.
Oh, you went? Okay.
They went to Yonkers High School.
Yonkers High School, yeah.
Yeah.
And they would always just randomly shout out, "Yo, it's Goon Time."
Goon Time, that's what it was.
Yeah, it's Goon Time. So I think the first instrumental I wrote to was off a Rock Marcy instrumental, and I just started doing that chant. It's Goon Time in this bitch.
Yep. I remember that.
That shit, I guess, took off for a little bit.
It did, bro. It hit. I remember your first. Was that your first mixtape that came out on? It had the black cover.
Yeah, I don't think it was on there though. I think I scrapped that off there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was definitely the first single I ever put out where I was comfortable to be like, all right.
What was the name of that mixtape?
Jungle Theory.
Jungle Theory, bro. I remember having that in my iTunes library.
Yeah, I think
before I had Spotify.
If you still have those songs in general, to people who are listening, you're definitely an OG of Blass 89 because I will never let people hear that project.
All right, so let's roll back. let's roll back further away, to like the beginning for you. So like, as a kid, when did you get into music? What was music for you?
Fairly young, I would say maybe 6 or 7. I would have like the memories of me dancing to Michael Jackson. Like my mother said that it was Home Alone. I would make her put on Home Alone 100 times a week.
Okay.
And then Michael Jackson. You know, I was always listening to fucking Beat It, to Billie Jean, and I just couldn't stop dancing like him, like grabbing my dick, everything. It was just something about Michael Jackson that he was so talented. And I think that's kind of like what planted the seeds. But just growing up, my mother listened to freestyle music when she was cleaning the house because she's Puerto Rican. And just a lot of like hits on the radio, you know, whenever we would drive. So I think those always planted the seeds to my love for music. But I would never go out of my way, I guess, to listen to music. I don't know. I was a very lonely child.
What did you gravitate towards? Like obviously Michael Jackson, but like when you say hits on the radio, what did you gravitate towards? Because I feel like our generation, we're only 3 years apart. Our generation, we had a different hits on the radio than the radio doesn't really exist anymore. I mean, it does, but no one really, no one really. Like radio was different when we were kids because it was radio and MTV and Fuse. Yeah. And these were the
Was MTV around like 95, 96? I don't think so. I think that came like 98, 99 maybe.
I don't know. Well, I remember growing up in like TRL.
Yeah,
and like
TRL. That's what I'm thinking of, TRL.
I learned about music through watching TRL and watching Fuse and watching these things. So what did you gravitate towards?
Definitely a lot of MTV. I think MTV is what introduced me to Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
And, NSYNC, Britney, all of them. And I was huge into Backstreet Boys.
Me too.
Like if you were listening to NSYNC, I was like, no, we're listening to Backstreet Boys. and I was AJ McLean for Halloween for like 3 years.
That's sick. Just because his name too.
Yeah, I mean, he had the beard, the tattoos. I was like, that's who I want to be.
That's funny.
And Backstreet Boys, man, I remember buying the Millennium album. You know what I'm saying? I remember thinking the Millennium album was going to be the greatest album of all time because of the anticipation, the hype surrounding it.
Yeah.
And when I bought it, it was everything that I wanted it to be. You know, they were all dressed in white on the cover. I was like, wow, Backstreet Boys, like they're gods to me. You know, and
dude, I felt the same way. I saw them in concert when I was like 7. My mom took me to see them.
I never got to see them.
I've seen them twice because I saw them. My mom took me when I was like 7, and then when I was older in college, I took.
You saw them when you were older?
I did when they came for the tour with New Kids on the Block in like 2013, 13, 14. Yeah. Like I went out and I saw BSB and New Kids on the Block, and it wasn't even set. You know how usually you go to a tour and it's like one set and then the next set.
Yeah.
Totally intermingled. It'd be like Backstreet Boys come out, two songs, and then like no New Kids on the Block, who's a little bit older, they would come out and do 2 songs. It was kind of cool. It was pretty cool. They do songs. And I also remember one cool thing, not to get too sidetracked into Backstreet Boys.
You get me upset right now.
But bro, when they did Everybody at the one in college, they played Back in Black. The backing band played Back in Black by AC/DC.
That's fire.
Yeah, it was fire. Anyway,
that's when you know you've done it all.
Oh, you're right.
When you could just do shit like that.
Shit was sick.
And like they've been selling out tours for years.
Yep.
You know, so it just goes to show you that a lot of people don't really like. I don't know. I guess people discredit pop sometimes, but they had their time.
Oh, dude, they definitely
had their time, man. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have Justin Timberlake.
No,
I agree. Just those are great memories to me.
100%. 100%. So, all right, so you gravitated towards...
So Backstreet Boys, Michael Jackson, and then around that time, my mother was taking me to a babysitter.
Okay.
There was this lady from church because my grandparents are pastors of a Pentecostal church. So my mother was very busy. My father was very busy. So she would take me to the babysitter. It was this lady from our church, this tiny little Ecuadorian lady. And she lived in Washington Heights. And whenever I would hang out with her, she would have me hang out with her son, who was he was 16. I was maybe 8 years old. And he was listening to Jay-Z. He was listening to Biggie, to Mace, to 112, Lil' Kim, all that.
Oh, nice.
And he's pretty much the person that opened the door to that world for me. Because I was listening to, like I said, Michael Jackson, Backstreet Boys, pop hits on the radio.
Right.
Because my mother didn't really listen to hip-hop. You
Right.
know, she didn't come from that world. She came from a church world. So when she got to rebel as an adult, she was listening to all the hits on the radio. And I guess she wasn't around people that listen to hip-hop. So once that door opened, I was like, what the fuck is this? And it was just, it blew my mind. It's all I wanted to listen to. So as I let the fire die on BSB, because they were kind of dying down too, it was just hip hop from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's cool. All right. So growing up, when did you were you the kind of kid that like when the radio played you sang? Is that what?
For sure.
You like sang?
I think my
along to
mom,
it? In like a way that you're like, oh, I could do this kind of singing, or was it just
no,
like
my
just like a
mom
natural?
just always noticed that I just loved attention.
Yeah.
You know, anything for a reaction or whatever. Like, I don't know why I liked attention so much. I think I was just so hyper that I just like, oh, let me see like who I can make laugh or something like that. So I think every time it came on, I was always singing. She was always singing with me too. But with the whole Michael Jackson dancing and all that shit, I just loved entertaining, but I didn't know what it meant. I just know that I loved dancing when music came on. And the thing is, my father's from Ecuador. So his family would always use our birthdays as an excuse to party.
Right.
And, oh, your son is turning 9? Everybody, I'm talking about like 30, 40 relatives, would cram into a 2-bedroom apartment and party until 5 in the morning, and we were partying with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it was like a family thing almost.
Yeah, man. I used to see, I saw this one meme that cracks me up. It's like, oh, when you go into the room where they hang the clothes, like the jackets, and you see that one kid sleeping, like on the pile. That's what it was. Like the kids that were partied out, they would sleep in the room where all the jackets were.
Right.
There was always one bed that had jackets.
Yeah, of course.
But
that's
me,
everybody's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, that's totally everybody's house. Like growing up, like it's like when you get to someone's house, it's like, where I put my jacket? Oh, we put it in that bedroom on the bed. I'll take it for you.
I really thought it was like a Latino thing. I didn't know. I'm happy to hear that. But I was up all night with them dancing, all types of music, merengue, bachata, all that, man. And that's where my love for like dancing and just being in the spotlight, because I was the youngest kid there dancing.
Right.
I think that really what groomed me for later on.
Word. So okay, cool. So growing up, then what kind of were you into school, or you just like school was not your thing? Or? That's something I never actually asked anyone on the podcast.
I hated school.
You hated school.
I think what it was, I don't know. I think I always wanted to just goof off, and I really think that I had such a gift for talking my way out of things that if I ever got in trouble, I would just talk my way out of something. I can never talk my way into a good grade, but I was good enough for people to leave me alone and get by. I hated school. Like, I was sleeping in every class. I was that kid, unfortunately, that was sleeping in every class and couldn't wait to graduate. And my graduation was the worst. I had to graduate in summer school. And I'll never forget it because I broke my mom's heart.
Yeah.
My mom is, I went to summer school like 3 times.
Yeah.
I was that bad.
In high school or just throughout?
In high school, because I was never on time for first period. Couldn't wake me up. So I always failed first period. And
were you in charge of getting yourself to school?
No, that's the worst part.
Oh, wow.
I would just be in bed. My mom was like, yo, get up. And I'm just like, I'm like dead. I would take the longest shower. My mom would be like, yo, get the
You just didn't care about it.
I didn't care, man. And it sucked because my mom did everything she could.
Yeah, of course.
I really raised hell in that regard. But summer school, so basically I was a super junior. Like I was 1 credit shy from being a senior. And
so you knew basically going into senior year that you were doing school.
I was doing worse my senior year.
And then but you knew you were doing school after senior year. You were like,
I was like, fuck it, I ain't going to summer school. I'm gonna get left back. I don't know why I thought like that, but I was just so bored.
It's kind of funny too that the mentality, and I mean it's also the mentality of like a 17-year-old, but like the mentality that you're like, I hate this, so I'm gonna do so bad that I might have to do it again.
I know. I was okay with that.
It's kind of funny because school for me was similar in the sense that I knew that I never wanted to be there, and I went to college, dude. I went to college all the way through grad school.
God bless you.
But I knew that I never really wanted to be there. But my mentality was do as well as I can. Yeah. And mind you, like I could have done better. I've always could have done better, but do as well as I can so that I didn't have to stay there, especially in college. Didn't have to stay there a second longer so I could get out and do the things that I actually wanted to be doing.
I don't know why I didn't think like that. I was just like, you know what? My senior year as a super junior, I have to take every class, extra classes, extra credit. I didn't have a lunch period because I had to take a class.
Oh, yeah.
And I was still cutting that class to get lunch, sneaking into the cafeteria because our cafeteria, like,
went to
They
Lincoln,
would
right?
check you. Yeah, Lincoln. They would check you. They were like, do you belong here?
Yeah.
Like the whole year, you would have to have your schedule or
You
something.
still do that. They still do
Yeah,
that
I
too.
always thought Lincoln was just prison.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
because when I was in
they do that in all
Saunders,
the high
before I
school.
got kicked out of Saunders, we used to go outside and eat.
Yeah.
They would let us go outside and eat. Lincoln is like, no, you're gonna eat this motherfucking Chinese food that we have here, or this ham and cheese, one slice of each ham and cheese
Yep.
bagel, having to put fucking hot fries on it just to like fill myself up. So the only classes I was passing was English. You know, I was getting the highest grades in English and theater arts. I was doing plays in high school.
Oh, nice. I didn't
The
know
only things I was interested in, yeah, I wanted to be an actor at one point. I was doing every play. Every play, they were like, Blasco, you should try out. I was always doing a lead role. You know, I was Van Helsing and Dracula.
That's awesome.
And we did 3 nights back to back. And it was like, that's it. I'm going to be fucking Brad Pitt. That's it, you know?
I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
So but post high school, that wasn't the move. Like you didn't have the passion to like keep going with that specifically, or
post
what?
high school, I guess I didn't keep in touch with my theater arts teacher because she was willing to help us out. I think I was just so drained from high school that I took a break from anything academic, period.
Yeah.
You know, because like I said, like I was gonna get left back. I'll never forget. My mother said, "Oh, we have to go to the post office. I missed a package or something," and there was a letter saying, "Oh, I'm going to summer school."
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Wow, I bought you this fucking card." She was crying in front of me. I bought you this card, and it says, "Congratulations, you did it." You know, for me graduating, and I'm just like, "Ah, shit, I have to go to summer school."
I
graduated in summer school. They had a ceremony. It was embarrassing. I was heavy into Panic at the Disco at the time, so I straightened my hair out, and I looked like a fucking fool. I had no sideburns, no beard, so I just looked, and I just had this really fat face. So
what year is this?
07.
Okay. Yes.
07. I was heavy into Panic at the Disco.
That's funny, dude.
I wanted to look like them.
That's awesome.
But, yeah.
Brendan Urie, bro. Shout out.
I know. I was in love with their music, but yeah. So pretty much that's like my high school. I took the year off, and then I got into music.
So then all right. So you took the year off, and then you got to music. So the band, was that the first?
Yeah. I don't remember how because I didn't really know a lot of people. I knew there was a scene in Yonkers like low key.
Yeah.
Around 08, 09.
Yeah, it was.
I remember they had the Haunt on Yonkers Ave.
Yeah, it was dying off a little bit. That was
was.
I was around the time you were getting into it, like around the time like I started playing in bands in 05.
Okay.
And like 05, 06, 07 was pretty good. And then like 08, 09, 10, like towards the end of my high school, I remember it started to slow down a little bit.
Okay. So that's the story of my life. I didn't know a lot of people. I didn't have a lot of friends. I was a very lonely person throughout the years that I didn't even know there was a scene going on in 05.
Right.
You know, so 08, 09 comes. I don't know if someone reached out to me. I think someone reached out to me. Said, hey, we're kicking out our fucking screamer. I heard you could sing. Do you mind singing for us?
How did they hear that you could sing?
What was I doing? I don't even know. I think someone had told them. Someone say, hey, I know this guy who's a really good singer.
And was that from you just singing in plays, or was that from you singing in like the shout? Like
I don't know, because the only experience I ever had was singing in church.
Got it.
I used to sing in church. My grandfather is a pastor. He would preach for like 2 hours, but before he got into that, he would have a special hour for people to either do like plays, pantomimes, or sing. And he was like, yo, you're a good singer. You should sing for us. And I was singing in church. So I don't know if someone from my church, because I know a lot of people that from my school would go to my church sometimes.
Yep.
And I don't know if it was just like a word of mouth thing, like, hey, I know this guy that fucking sings at church. I think he would be a good addition. But they found me somehow. And I was like, okay, sure. I have no experience singing for a band, no experience writing. So it was just like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even remember how it happened. It was so long ago.
Yeah. So your band was A Man, A Wave?
No, it was actually called...
was that a different name at the time, or was it a different band?
Yeah. The first band I ever joined was Love Lies and Ashes.
Love Lies.
Ashes.
That's a very 2008 name. That's like, that was on the neon green shirt with the...
I forgot it was a song title for a band, but I forgot which hardcore band, but Love Lies and Ashes from Yonkers, New York.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. So, Love Lies and Ashes, was that the same band? Like, was it the same guys as A Man, A Wave, or was it totally different?
I think it was led by this girl named Anna who played bass. This kid named Rigo, Turtle on drums.
Oh, Turtle, shouts out, dude.
And this girl named Anna who we called Frankie on guitar. And they ended up kicking the girl out. Frankie, Anna. They kicked her out of her, and I think she started the band.
Oh wow.
They kicked her out of the band. They found this guy named Jay, who was a beast on guitar, and we had practice one day. He pulls me to the side and he's like, "Yo," he said, "Carnifex." There we go. That was the
Hey.
band. Love Lies and Ashes, Carnifex, probably, most likely. Sounds familiar. But he was like, "Hey, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Everybody sucks. I'm gonna keep you." He goes, "We got to get rid of this person, this person." I'm like, "Bro, you're trying out for the band. How are you gonna tell me you're gonna kick these people out and just keep me?"
He wanted to start another band.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I was very conflicted because I was like, damn, my loyalty lies with this band. You know, like they gave me my chance. We did one show up until this point, and my first show was at the YMCA.
Hell
And
yeah.
my first show, I got into a fight because somebody kept purposely moshing into me. And the third time, I was like, if this motherfucker hits me one more time, I'm going to body him. He fucking cartwheels into me, and I just grab him.
During the set or
During my set.
you
First
got into
time
a
ever
fight
performing.
during the
Yeah.
Okay,
First
wait, tell me.
time.
How did the fight go? Is it
So I think this guy's drunk.
yeah.
And he's a part of another band. And I'm on the floor because there's no stage, and whatever stage they have on top only fits the band. So I'm on the floor, I'm singing, I'm screaming. My first show, I'm nervous as fuck, not even looking at people, eyes closed.
Yep.
This guy's just moshing into me. And the first time I'm like, okay, cool, you know, he's drunk. Second time I'm like, all right, this nigga wildin'.
Word.
Third time I'm like, yo, I just grab him. There was a stack of chairs. I threw him into the chairs. And then like he tried to fight me, but like everyone was holding him back, and I'm just, you know, I'm like, whatever. And that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't throw no fist. I just threw this kid into a chair, a stack of chairs, and he got up, wanted to fight me. No one wanted that to happen because they didn't want the show to stop. So that was my first experience.
That's funny, dude. That's a good story though. That's a really
Yeah.
good story because like think about how many shows you've played since then and how many you will play past now, and like you can always remember back to that first show you ever had where
Yeah,
you
bro,
weren't
'cause
looking
he
at
was
anyone
wildin'.
and you almost got to a fight.
It's an amazing memory because I was like, all right, cool.
It's good to look back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. All right, so you end up breaking off with the band and going with this other dude.
So he ends up kicking everybody out. I think he keeps Turtle. He keeps.
He kicked them out, or he was
He
like,
didn't want to keep everybody.
or he
but
was like,
ended
yo,
up-
let's go start another band. Was he like, yo, I'm in this band now, but you're not anymore, and you're not?
I was conflicted. I was like, what do I do? I gotta tell these guys.
yeah.
And he ends up just kicking out one person. Keeps
yeah.
everybody. Then he kicks out the other person.
How did he kick them out? I don't understand.
He just said, hey, we're gonna listen, man. This guy has some balls. And they were just like, okay. You know, and we ended up starting our own band, I guess.
And that was a
they
man
didn't
wave?
do anything after that. Once we started our own thing, they didn't do anything. So it was kind of like he kicked them out because they really never went anywhere after that.
Right. So in leading up to like being in this band in high school, were you listening to like a lot of like, were you listening to a lot of rock music, a lot of post-hardcore, or did you like get more into invested in it because you were in the band?
So again, the story of my life thing of being lonely. Like I didn't have any friends that like I can go to their house, watch baseball, basketball, football with. You know, I didn't have anybody that would be like, yo, you got to listen to this new band. I'm telling you, like I'd go home, play by myself. That was my life for years.
And you liked it that way?
No, I guess, I mean, I had friends, but like my mom didn't really want me to sleep over people's houses and very paranoid.
Got it.
And I guess I was just so accustomed to that I would just go home by myself and just play with my cousin or whatever.
Play
But
video
they were
games
never
or
like,
whatever.
oh, you should listen to. I never had anybody to guide me where it's like, oh, you should listen to this guy. The only person was the babysitter's son. And I was old enough to not have a babysitter anymore. So that connection died and I never had that again. So once I joined this band, it's kind of like it opened my world to post-hardcore because that's the music the guitarist wanted to make. Like Thursday kind of music, Seosin, like at the
Circa
time,
Survive,
like
yeah.
Circa was getting big or was big. So I kind of had this really like this overhaul of all this information of all these bands. And I was like, where the fuck have I been for the last 10 years? You know?
Yeah. So
So-
and how old are you?
I think I'm 19 at this
19.
point. 19 and I think Deftones was the band that kicked the door down.
That's like you were like,
Yeah,
yo,
I think
this-
my senior year or my super junior year was the year that someone introduced me to Deftones, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And they were like, "Oh, you know, this is some new metal band, like, but they're fucking like the singer is just amazing." And I was big on singing, so
You know, it's funny. I never got into Deftones.
you know what? I have
And-
so many friends that say that.
And it's not that I don't like Deftones. I don't know that I can name a Deftones song.
Okay.
I never dove in.
Well, why don't you now?
I should. I will have to, this will inspire me.
How long have you been saying that?
Never.
Yeah, I feel like you've been saying that for a minute. I just never got into Deftones. Get into it, motherfucker.
Okay, all right. After this, I will.
Yeah.
After this conversation.
But that kicked the door down. That kicked the door down to, you know, to like Dance Gavin Dance. You know, just all those bands that were doing the melodic singing.
Yeah.
Over all that shit. So.
And were you screaming in the band too?
Huh?
Were you screaming in the band too?
Yeah, I was terrible at first.
So you were just
terrible,
were you
man.
just you were just you were mimicking what you heard.
I started doing like lessons. Like there was that lady. What's that lady?
Melissa Cross?
Yeah,
You
know what I'm
paid for
saying?
those?
No, man.
That's
My
cool.
boy had like
like a DVD.
my
or
boy
something?
had the hack, you know. So
I got you.
you know,
she's expensive.
yeah. But you know, I never went into this game like thinking that I knew everything.
No, of course not.
I was a student first, just like hip hop, just like music in general. We're all students,
100%.
you know. So whenever we would perform, I was never really comfortable at first because I'm like, you know what, I'm a guest in this genre. You know what I'm saying? I never had the experiences like where I'm sure, you know, you're with your friends listening to music, right? Like I'm sure you would listen to records with your friends.
Yeah, growing up, for me, it was. So for me, my situation was that my boy John Sipa, who I think you know and you've met, he helped me run the skate park shows back in the day. Him and we played basketball together, like little league basketball for Bryn Mawr, and around the same time that I got a guitar, his pops bought him a bass.
Yeah.
And we didn't really know each other, but my dad and his dad would talk at the basketball games, and they were talking about, oh yeah, we just got AJ a guitar. Oh, I'm getting John a bass for Christmas. And then what actually ended up happening, which is a funny story, because I don't know if I've ever really told this before, but I slammed my thumb in the car door.
Wow.
And I broke it.
Nice.
And he broke his wrist in a way cooler way,
Well, I need some milk, man.
like snowboarding or something.
Yeah.
And we had to sit at the sideline of the game. We still went to the games. We couldn't play. And we sat together because we had injured each other. We were both injured at the same time.
Friends.
He was a lot more valuable of a player than I was. I wasn't. I was the kid in every sport team that I ever played on that wasn't the worst kid on the team, but I was, like.
At least you weren't getting picked last, you know?
Yeah, I wasn't getting picked last, but I definitely wasn't getting picked first. But he was always the really good player, because I played baseball and basketball with him, and he was always really good at every sport. But yeah, so we became really close because of that, and then we ended up becoming literally best friends because we grew up learning to play. He was learning how to play bass at the same time I was learning how to play guitar. So both of us found music at the same time in a lot of ways, and we both had dads that were really into music and into rock music. So they kind of pushed us along to learn, and then we found everything. We kind of found everything together growing up. When he would find, like you just said, your friends would show you stuff. I would find something, I show him. When he found something, he would show me, and we were just finding things together.
See, that's a camaraderie I've earned for the longest. And I think it started when the band formed, we would show each other new music. But they lived in the Bronx, I was all the way in Yonkers, so I really didn't see them unless practice. So
right.
And even your father I'm sure introduced you.
Yeah, I mean, when I was 5 years old, I was wearing Gene Simmons makeup going to kids'
go.
concerts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't have any of that. So I wish I could have had it, but now I have that chance with my son.
Yeah, dude,
you know what I'm saying? To show him
it's
all
amazing.
the music that I love. So I don't know. It's important. I think that's just a lesson in life. It's just important to have friends and to go through all those experiences together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they really do mold us.
100%.
Even being lonely molds you. And it's a gift and a curse. Because, I can enjoy my solitude. I don't have to be around people. But it would be nice because I think when you connect with people and you bring ideas and just have fun with people, it just does something for the world.
Yeah, especially when they're like-minded people. For sure, there's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, look at this event today. Me, AJ, Robin have all been friends since ninth grade.
I'm sure.
And we're 27, and we're still and we grew up through music, art, skateboarding. Just I
know
we were the kids that were in high school together that were into all of this stuff, and we've just been figuring it. We've all been simultaneously figuring it out, and look what Robin's doing out there. I remember when Robin first started drawing in a sketchbook or was painting on skateboards, and now look what he can create, and you know, it's the whole thing with, you're right, friends lift you up to like do a thing. I think they kind of like push you to like do the next thing in a lot of ways.
I mean, even shitty friends have a purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Growing older, as you go through many experiences, you become wiser, Lord willing. Like, you learn what not to look for or what not to keep around. And sometimes you have to sever ties with people, because as you grow older and you start doing things for your passion, for your goals, you kind of have to like rip the Band-Aid off. Some people just need to be separated and then kind of figure out what they're going to do with themselves, because they're not progressing as a human or as an artist or whatever they want to do, and they're not doing anything for you.
Or you're not progressing in the same way anymore.
Yeah, you know, and like, I just believe in that.
No, dude, as I've gotten older, my circle has gotten smaller, I think.
No, my eyes keep looking at the comments. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah,
I just keep seeing like my peripheral is just like.
It's our boy Joe. Skate
Who's
park
that?
and Joe.
Who's that, Sir Lance?
Sir Lance, I thought. Yeah, he's
Lance, I thought.
He's skate park at Throgsneck. Yo, I skate Throgsneck. I skated there like 2 months ago.
Throgsneck. They got good Taco Bell over there.
Why? How is their Taco Bell better than any other Taco Bell?
Well, it just hits.
Bro, they got
in the
rid of the
Bronx.
potatoes
What do you mean the potatoes?
at Taco Bell. Like the potato tacos and the.
I've never had it. I'm sorry.
Oh, you never had any of the potato
No.
stuff? Wow. Yeah,
I'm
they
a
got,
simple man.
They went simpler. Yeah, they got rid of the potatoes. I was like, damn.
I've had their fries. They had fries for a while. I don't know if they still have
the
them.
nacho fries. Yeah.
I don't know. You kind of looked a little disgusted by that.
They're all right.
You're just looking at the nacho fries. So what do you get when you go to Taco Bell?
When I go to Taco Bell, I get I'm a Crunchwrap Supreme guy, but most recently I do the black bean Crunchwrap. I actually I enjoy the black beans a lot.
Healthier?
A little healthier. No, you know how you're not eating the sandpaper meat that they give you in the regular one. And the potato tacos were a big thing for me.
Potato tacos.
Yeah, dude.
Fucked up.
Yeah, those were really good. They're done. And then I like everything. I used to like the cheesy gordita crunch a lot, and I've had everything on the Taco Bell menu.
I bet.
Pretty much.
What
about you?
Beefy 5-layer burrito, a steak quesarito.
Yo, thanks for the follow. Whoever just followed.
3 Dorito Loco Taco Supreme, 12 Cinnabon Delights,
Oh yeah.
but shared amongst friends.
Oh okay.
Only one friend. And no drink. I don't do soda anymore. What do you do for drink?
Wild cherry Pepsi. I'm not a Baja Blast guy, man. I don't. It's
Bro,
too.
people swear by Baja
It's too
Blast.
sweet for me.
Every girl that I've ever messed
People
with
hate on me for
love
that.
Baja Blast.
Yeah, they hate on me for that. I'm like, yo, it's too sweet. It's like I like soda, but that shit's too sweet.
No.
Speaking of friends,
Yeah.
this is kind of a funny segue, but Taco Bell was like where we all hung out in high school after anything we did.
Yeah.
And then college too, like, and when I played in One Fell Swoop, like after a show, we went to Taco Bell. Like pretty much wherever we were, but like definitely in Yonkers. Like that Yonkers Taco Bell, you know how there's the no loitering signs in the parking lot? That's probably for me and the friends that I hung out with, because we would just hang out in that parking lot for like 3 hours and just like blast music and eat Taco Bell and like. But it's funny because like Taco Bell is actually like a thing that I think of as like a friend activity.
Yeah.
Like it's like
I feel like you guys could get sponsored by Taco Bell too.
Maybe.
You know, I feel like that's something that you guys never really.
They do it to
invested
Feed the
in.
Beat. We should both do it. They do Feed the Beat. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Oh yeah, what is that?
They sponsor
artist?
touring artists, and they give you $500 for the road in Taco
Why
Bell
you've
money.
never done that? I have no idea.
I don't know either.
Why you've never applied?
I don't either.
I'm shocked that you don't have a Taco Bell tattoo.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. But anyway, I do love Taco Bell.
My man said Dr. Pepper. Fuck out of here. Now Dr. Pepper's pretty good.
I do
but
like
don't
Taco
know.
Pepper. 23
The
flavors.
cherry Dr. Pepper.
Is it good? That's 24
Yeah.
flavors.
Yeah.
They add that extra.
Wait, they have more flavors?
No.
That's their slogan.
That's their slogan. 23 flavors.
Oh, I
but
didn't
now I'm
fucking
saying
know.
cherry. Now they're adding
okay.
adding the 24th flavor in there.
What's that mean?
Yo, $50 donated. Thank you so much for the $50
And that's for the
donation
for the fundraiser.
for
right?
the fundraiser. Yeah,
Shouts to you, man. Who did it?
it looks. I'm trying to read it. This is
Rose.
Alyssa.
Rose.
Ross Elisa.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you so much.
I'll make sure when I sing,
Oh my god.
imagine you could take
Don't be
donations back.
Don't be creepy on the friggin'. All right, so moving on. You're in a band. You're in a Man Wave. How many shows? You guys do a lot of shows. You did a couple, right?
Our first show was at the Point when
Bronx.
Bronx Underground was popping.
Someone said that. Someone said something about the Bronx earlier. Oh, you know why? Because I did a podcast with Fernando, who runs that
You were talking
FLC.
about FLC. I remember I was watching that.
Yeah. So we were talking
So
about
we
that.
did a Bronx Underground show was the Point, and our first band name before Man Away was a Sky Cloaked in Gray. and such a long fucking name.
Everybody had long names.
And we were like, yo, let's just change it because this shit's too long. And the acronyms were ASCIG. So I don't know, it's kind of funny, but I was like, yo, Amanda Wave. You know, I was listening to a lot of Fall of Troy, and one of the songs was Amanda Plan, Panal, or Canal Panama, some shit like that. I was like, yo, fuck it, Amanda Wave, man, the ocean.
Yeah.
And it stuck, Amanda Wave. And then we just started doing shows all around the Bronx and in Brooklyn, Queens.
That's cool. And what was your biggest takeaway from that? Was it just like learning how to be a performer?
Yeah, for sure. I think learning how to be a front man, learning how to practice, which was the biggest takeaway. Because one thing that I've noticed in hip hop, or at least that I've noticed from the shows that I've done, and it's a lot of shows, a lot of people don't practice.
Yeah.
A lot of motherfuckers get on stage with 30 people and they're rapping over their tracks.
Yeah,
you know, with vocals on it.
I've seen that at your shows a lot.
Yeah, and that's painful because you're competing with yourself and you're out of breath and you're just not. That's the thing. A lot of people can rap. Not a lot of people can entertain.
You're right.
And the whole Michael Jackson, Backstreet Boy element came into effect after the band. Because the band years were the years where I was like, you know, it was like I lost my virginity. I had to get better at fucking. And I was decent, but I wasn't good. You know?
No. We're all. It's cool. You know, one of my favorite things about everything within music is that
we can curse on this, right?
Of course.
All right, cool.
Dude, be yourself.
That's what I'm saying. We're already knee deep in this shit. So
yeah, we curse. What I was gonna say is that you're always learning. Like I love the fact that there's no cap on learning.
No.
There's zero cap on learning. You could be the best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You can still be better.
Well, I mean,
at something too. It doesn't even matter. Like, it could be better at singing or performing or adding things to your show, or it could be better at making content. It could be better at, like, there's, within music, there's so many avenues. It could be better at managing. It could be better at, like, whatever it is, whatever you find the interest in at the time. There's always something to learn.
Well, this world is unpredictable, man. We're always learning how to adapt.
100%. Look at this year.
Yeah, of course. This year is just, it's wild, man. It's super, it's overwhelming, but, hopefully within the next year or so, we take everything, all the negative, all the bad, and just learn to put it. I mean, we already are. Look at this. You know what I'm saying? We have fucking Robin outside painting me, which is insane. I'm going to use that inspiration for a long time because that's humbling to me, and he's doing it for an even greater cause.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you guys are helping him put it together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you personally, you and AJ, and whoever else is involved that I don't know about because I'm terrible with names and people. But, like, you guys, to me, are very, like, pivotal for Yonkers.
Appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? For the scene that we're trying to, like, bring back or always, create, it's like, I always think of you guys.
I appreciate that.
And you do a lot of work, man. So it's,
it's because you have to, like, adapt to what's happening, like, I don't know if it's probably a big part my ADHD, to be honest with you, that, like, my brain doesn't shut off, but, like, I don't ever.
You just need to go FAP.
I don't know if that helps either.
Oh, it does.
But I don't look at I oftentimes take way too much on, and I oftentimes don't. I think of a bigger picture and don't think of all of the minor details, and it's definitely a fault of mine to not think about all the minor details of things and just think of the big picture of a thing.
But do you think you learned from that?
Yeah.
By
being frustrated a lot and by making a lot of mistakes.
But I feel like that's made you a lot better, more efficient. I see how you are on social media. Like, you guys have a legit brand. Now it's just a matter of reaching the masses.
Yeah,
I see you on TikTok now, and I'm like, God, I don't know if I have the energy to do that. And you guys are always just trying to find ways to just make everything matter and to be you at the end of the day. Yeah, well, what I was going to say is that I always try to look at the thing in front of me and go, when something goes wrong, it never in my brain, does it go, oh, now I have to stop. Like, a lot of people look at COVID and they were like, yo, my band, like, we just have to go into writing mode and we have to, like, and for me, I was on tour, dude, and I spent like 100. I probably spent like 100 hours into booking that tour, like a lot of wasted time that I didn't get back. But even when we're driving back, both AJ and I were in this, and we're very similar in this way, is that it was like, all right, well, we were supposed to be on tour for 2 more weeks, so what's next? Like, we go home and, like,
what happens now? Like, this was supposed to be this chunk of time that we were going to be doing the band. So, like, what happens now that we don't get to play, right? And you figure out whatever the next step is, you start to adapt and work out. And I think that, unfortunately, especially in the music industry, with this pandemic, it's the only way anyone's going to survive.
I mean, I think you guys just really grabbed the fucking bulls by the horn, and it's inspiring because it showed me, like, yo, man, these two skinny motherfuckers could do this. I could do this shit, man. Like, I just got to get the equipment, the knowledge, and learn and fail, but it's doable.
Yeah.
You guys were supposed to tour for 2 more weeks. You came back, and you're already setting up shop here, going live, and you've been doing this every week.
Yeah, but I mean, I think just in general for anybody that's listening, like, if you really are in love with something, and especially if you're a musician right now during the pandemic, like,
you don't put that shit down.
You don't put it down.
That shit don't collect dust.
It sucks because there are a lot of people, very unfortunately. We're lucky, dude, and I'm gonna say this in almost a weird way, but you know how we strive to be like musicians and touring artists as like our living?
Yeah.
I think we're very lucky that we weren't that before this. Because those people that relied on that art and those tours to make money, to live, to pay their bills, very unfortunately now have to figure something else out, where, like,
it's happened already.
Smaller artists like us,
it's happened.
We still have whatever else we did to make money. This was always still the side thing.
Unemployment, bitch. Nah.
Yeah, that was me for a minute. It's still me, but it's still me. It just doesn't make me as much money anymore. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like we still have we got the.
I mean, I'm not gonna throw dirt on anyone's name, but there's big artists, especially from this city, that they decided to do this whole mixtape thing, where they'll be like, oh, tag an artist that's looking for opportunities.
Oh, and they charge her.
And what they do is they'll charge you $650. You get to be on this mixtape that I'm hosting. And it's very unlikely that anyone listens to it.
Yeah, man, that's not
You know what I'm saying? So it's because they can't do shows, which they rely on. They make mad money off that shit.
You need it.
So they're going to, I don't want to say scam, but it kind of feels like a fucking scam.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I literally don't know what you're talking about at all, but I will say that, I think there's people that are in things for selfless reasons, and there's people that are in things. It's just a shame because
some of these people are legends.
Are selfish reasons.
Some of these people are legends.
But they're trying to scrape by.
And they're trying to scrape by, and they're using artists who are desperate.
That sucks.
Who are up and coming, and it sucks because no one's telling the artist, hey, I've had people DM me saying, should I do this? And I'm like, bro, I'm going to be straight up with you. Yeah, fuck no. Take that money, go shoot a music video, or go put it into marketing.
Go buy an SM7B and an interface. And
$400.
Download Reaper, because now you have unlimited amount of music that you can now make from your home during quarantine. That is so much.
That's what I'm saying.
Bro, that's why. And you said TikTok before, man?
Yeah.
But just in general, making things is the key. I've learned that even more so in this pandemic, that making things is the key to anything you want to do. Unlocking anything.
Content is king.
Unlocking anything, bro. Yeah. Like, that is it, man. If you just make things and you put yourself out there and you just be yourself, and, like, you put yourself out there in a, like, genuine, like, this is me. Like, this isn't anybody but me. Yeah. Like, if people like you, they're gonna be inclined to ride with you. And they're always recognizing that there's gonna be people that don't like you.
Yeah, I mean, that's in everything.
That's in everything.
That's in everything. There's people you can't even care about that shit because the truth is, like, I had a show where I was ready to kill that shit. I was killing it. No one liked it. Maybe like 3 people in a room of like 200 people. I'm telling you, like, I got no reaction after every song. Like, no one cared, and they just weren't there for what I was doing. So it's like, in everything in life, there's just people who are going to fuck with you. Focus on that. The people that don't, it's cool. You really can't do much to change their mind. Maybe one day all you could do is be yourself, because
that's the biggest thing, bro. Because if
you can't cater to that.
No. Because, if you do anything that's not being you, you automatically, I don't know, man. Like, that's when people come out and they have to apologize for something they did or said, or they, know what I'm saying?
That shit drives me nuts.
Right, like, it's like, You know why like and you can look at my track record of what I've done, and I'm like I've always just tried to be myself. So
Yeah.
like if someone doesn't really like that, then that's on them.
I mean, yeah.
That's not
I'm
really.
sorry, my dick is not big enough for you to suck, so I'm gonna need you to get off
Oh
it.
my
You know,
God,
like
yeah. But that's right. It's on them. Like it's not on me to apologize for being me.
Yeah.
The only time you have to apologize, you're going to end up apologizing, is if you tried to cater to something else and you're like, yo,
yeah.
that wasn't really me. Like
Yeah.
I fucked up. Like I said the wrong thing because
I mean, there's a price for everything, man. There's
Yeah, and
consequences for
we
everything.
all
do.
learn the lessons though. You know.
And I think as long as you continue to be honest and genuine, like you will get to where you have to go. Sometimes the road is longer, sometimes it's not.
I agree.
But eventually, if you like turn out to be something you're not, that's very taxing in itself, and people could sniff it a mile away after a while.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The smoke and mirrors only last for a long time.
Yeah, and that's why. So this is an interesting thing to talk about because it happens all across music. It probably happens. See, I just live in the world of music.
Yeah.
It probably happens everywhere. I even talked to Casey, and she talks about artists like.
Shout out to Casey.
Shout out to Casey.
Yes.
And you know, Casey's a paint. She's an
amazing.
illustrator.
She
Right.
did one of the first Blass 89 logos.
Right. That's right. I forgot
Thank
about
you.
that. But she talks about how artists step on each other's toes too. Like visual artists, there's like this sense of like jealousy and gatekeeping and all that kind of stuff.
Annoying.
But it's so annoying. But I think that it's what was I getting at? I live in the world of world of music. You live in the world of music. When you go to a show, and I'm not gonna lie that I see it. I see it more at the hip hop shows that I go to with you than I do at
See what? The stepping on the toes?
No, I see that everybody being something they're not.
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
Like
I'm
acting like
experiencing
they're
that now.
acting like people think that that they should act bigger than they are. Like that's like a good, like I'm going to make it seem like I have the nice car and the nice chain and like my rap career is successful even though
That's the industry's fault.
it is the industry.
The industry
100%.
finds a young kid, they pump that facade, and now everyone sees that as a formula to get rich. So
Right.
everyone ends up making shitty music. And I don't even want to say shitty music because I look at music now as like, it's not for me.
It's just, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because who am I to judge your hustle? I mean, there's some music where it's like, yo, that shit sucks. But it's like, you know what? It's not for me.
It's not, it's your thing, right?
Someone probably like, yo, this song changed my life. So who am I to judge them for that? But people see that formula and they end up mimicking it. And it's even worse than the person who's mainstream with it. So,
And it's not about,
and it doesn't connect with anyone.
it's not about actually being yourself anymore. It's about being the thing
Yeah.
that you think
You created a persona.
that you think people want to see.
created a life. How do you create a life that you don't live?
Yeah, man.
Because then are you going to live it?
No,
You know, like you can't live that life.
You know what's so much more interesting? When someone literally gets on a microphone and they say, "Hey, I work a 9 to 5 and I'm like, I hate this." And like, you know why? Because that is so much more relatable.
I mean, because everyone in the venue was working a 9 to 5,
Every-
most likely. you
So
know?
much more
Even the
relatable.
fucking bartenders, that's their 9 to 5.
But like whatever, yeah, and whatever your reality is, you know, like just people actually speaking their reality is so much more relatable than trying to be something you're not. Like I've had advice from people over the years saying like, yeah, you see our social media presence, like our band looks bigger, like we look like a more popular band than we are, right? And
Says who?
no, I'm not gonna say people's names, but like
I'm fucking with you.
people over the years, right? Like, it does, and you look at their social media, and all their pictures are perfect, and their videos are perfect, and they're like,
God
we're
bless
playing
them.
this place, and like
God bless them.
the
I don't know
show.
how they could do that.
And
Who
for
has
me,
the energy for that.
For me, bro, I'm like, yo, 4 people watched my Twitch stream, and I'm so stoked about that, and that's
Bro,
like
because it grows, man.
because
it grows.
that is like, you know, or whatever it is, you know, like, yo, somebody liked me playing Metallica on my acoustic guitar on TikTok. I just think that's funny.
Yeah.
But some people be like, yo, it's not like professional content. I was in a chat yesterday. I was watching a podcast, and there was like a little chat below, and they were talking about TikTok, and then people were like, yeah, but like you gotta make, you know, it's just hard to make so many videos and keep up with them. I'm like, yo, it's really easy when you stop caring about quality being bigger than life and quality just being you could take your iPhone and be you in front of it 10 times a day. You do this all the time in your Instagram story.
Yeah.
You know, you get in and you just say something. That's like not.
That's what I'm saying. I stopped caring about what the real goal is. It's like, nah, I'm just gonna be me.
Yeah,
And
people like that.
Eventually, I'm gonna figure out the recipe that works. But I'm just gonna be me. Like this morning, I was on live for an hour just cooking breakfast for my son.
Yes.
I was practicing my set, and people were just like having fun. We were talking shit. I was like, yo, like people making fun of my beard. And it's just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a community thing. And it's beautiful when you could be yourself. Because imagine having to try hard to be that persona on live. Or, bro, I just...
Draining. I
just don't. Buying followers, all that shit is just like, bro.
Draining, bro. Like,
you know
why would
I think of it like this. If social media were to die tomorrow, you know, how solid would most people be? There's some people who their whole life is social media. Their branding is on social media. And then in the real life, they can't they can't book a show. Like that whole aspect. There's people on social media that have thousands and thousands of views, but they can't bring 10 people to a show.
Yeah.
You know, so that facade on social media is poisonous.
Yeah, what does that mean?
You know?
It's kind of, I was having this conversation with my dad upstairs before.
Who, God?
Yeah. But I was having a conversation with my pops upstairs about that.
I'm sorry, real quick. Is my water over there?
What do you apologize for?
Because that joke was...
Is it in this backpack?
Nah. It was...
You want me to go look for it? I don't know.
I don't see it right here. All right, that's cool. Don't worry about it.
If anyone can hear us outside and wants to bring us a water in, that'd be awesome.
A word? It's like that?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
And get 2 for my man Robin, all right?
We're coming up on the hour mark. Well, we've been chatting for a minute. All right.
Fire.
But what I was gonna say is I was talking to my dad earlier, and we were talking about the fact that social media has become some like virtual reality that everybody lives in, and it's not the real world, dude.
It's sad, man.
Oh, what a guy!
With the glass,
what a
too.
guy! Bringing in the water. What do we got? Like 5-10 minutes left?
Fire.
All right, perfect. 5:50. Perfect. Yeah. So but yeah, it's like this virtual reality that everyone lives, and everybody's out on. Even if you're not a brand or a business, like everybody's their own brand, and everyone there's this like inherent thing where everyone's like, yeah, I have a platform, so I have to say something. It's like, what? Your social media account. Remember what social media used to be, bro? Like social media used to be, I used to take pictures of my shoes.
Even if you don't have a huge following, social media has given people this false sense of like power.
I know.
You
for
know,
real,
and
dude.
now and cue the fucking cancel culture. Now I do agree there's some people that don't belong in industries.
In spaces, and of course. I 100%
you know what I'm
agree
saying?
with that.
Like there's some things that you have to get all the facts. We can't judge someone like right away. Like it's irresponsible. You know, as human beings, to just cancel someone right away. Like, we really do have to get all the facts. Now, I'm not saying, like, you know, I don't know. It's messy. It's really messy.
It's not even, and I wasn't even, honestly, I agree. But I'm not even in the cancel culture world, but just in general, everyone thinks that they have to project every thought ever because there's, like, some, like, inherent responsibility to do that. And it's like...
And I get that there's some people that do deserve some sort of justice and whatever it is.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
100%,
but like
bro.
we have to really gather all the facts and
100%. Mind you, I don't disagree with people posting amazing information and like learning and teaching and talking and telling their stories and having conversations. I think all of that is incredibly amazing. I think it's everybody that's on the internet for some kind of a performance that ends up,
man. It just feels like the blind leading the blind.
You're looking at it and you're like, this isn't, especially when you know them in person and you're like, this isn't even like, this is like their virtual self. And like,
the blind is really leading the blind and no one is themselves. Like we have become an extension of just like bullshit, man. Like I don't even know what's going on anymore.
I don't either. I had to get off, dude.
Yeah, you have to unplug. You have to disconnect because guess what? When I get off my phone, I have the whole world in front of me. And I have to live in it.
The world is what you do in your day-to-day life. You should always be striving to be a better person. You should always be striving to learn more. You should always be striving to learn how to like understand other people and like where they're coming from and their so all of those things always 100%.
And we should also be able to agree to disagree sometimes too, or all the time because I'm not going to hate someone for a certain view, but I don't have to be around them. But I don't have to hate them either. I could really be like, yo, in my mind, I'd be like, man, it's fucked up that this person thinks like this, but it's my choice whether I want to be around them or not.
100%.
You
And
know?
I just think that this like inherent like everyone thinking that they have some like thing to stand on and project, especially
Yeah.
when they're projecting about other people. It's just that and especially when they're projecting about other people they don't know.
I know. It's
I'm
kind of
kinda
like just
just
mind
like,
your fucking business and be yourself.
Be
Because
yourself
when you
and,
wake
like,
up in the morning, you
learn-
have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yo, all right, that's the guy that's going to live today and
exactly.
strive to be better than yesterday. That's the thing. Who are we competing with? It has to be ourselves.
Everyone's competing with everyone else on social media.
I can't compete with you. I can't compete
No.
with Robin. I can't compete with Candace
I
or
don't-
AJK.
I have no desire to.
That's the thing. Like, we're all great at certain things. We're even better together.
When
but
we're all
we-
bad at certain things,
Yeah.
we all we all say the wrong thing at some
But
point. We all say
collective,
the
collective
right
is important.
thing. Yes.
Being honest is important with yourself and with others. Being vocal about what you feel is important as long as you're understanding if the other person doesn't feel the same way and kind of find a middle ground or not at all, but to be able to continue after that. And it's just important to tell your story.
Tell it.
Even if it's fucking boring to you, someone might be going through that shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You dropped your fucking quesarito. I guarantee you somebody out there dropped their quesarito and they know what that motherfucking heartbreak feels like. But if you can express it in an artistic way, it brings gold. And not talking about financially. I mean, that's a part of it, but just in a broader, sense.
It's just the performance aspect of just watching people just straight up either one, it's seemingly doing things for like some kind of attention or like whatever it is, man. Like it's just it can be tiring. Not to bring this into a negative light, but it's just something that I've been thinking about.
It's not negative, bro. We're humans, bro. We're humans.
So much the past couple months. There's something like that. We're just like, why? Like this is so. It goes back to the selfish thing. I think some people are take things that happen in the world, and they take that and they think that they're gonna make some selfish agenda out of it, and it's really. It's whatever. But anyway, be yourself, do it yourself.
Be yourself, do it yourself.
That's where we're at.
Yep.
So you're gonna do your set. This is we're kind of like we're doing like a timed thing. You could see Robin in the down corner painting right there.
Man, I love Robin, man. For real, Robin has my heart, man.
Yeah, he's
the most. Listen, this dude, every merch drop, always buying a T-shirt, always coming to the shows, and. Like just the love, just the genuine energy that he brings, man. Like I love chopping it up with him. Like he came out to Pounds. Pounds is pretty much like I would consider him my label mate.
Promote that.
Pounds is like he's the one that brought me under his wing. He's a Rochester artist in hip hop, I guess quote unquote underground hip hop, and to me he's a legend. Mm-hmm. He's been in the game for a long time. And Rochester, Buffalo, New York, they're making huge waves in the underground hip-hop scene. And Pounds is definitely at the forefront of that as well. And he had a pop-up show to promote for his next album called There Is No Mafia.
Oh, tight.
And
Robin told me about it.
Yeah, he had a pop-up shop in Brooklyn, and Robin came out, bought some merch, bought CDs, and we were just chopping it up for an hour. We were talking about this fundraiser, and I don't know, just talking to Robin for like that hour or two, like it just gave me a real sense of who he is as a person and as an artist. And I really felt for him, man. I really did. And the love that he shows, because, I don't expect anyone to come out. I'm at a point in my life where you either show up or you don't.
Oh, yeah.
I really don't give a fuck because I'm going to have to do what I have to do regardless, So just him coming to the shit, man, really just brightened my day. Pounds was like, yo, that kid, man. Like, I was looking at some of his stuff on IG. It was really good. And, Pounds is dropping an album next Friday. I'm dropping my album either the end of next month or, early October.
That's so exciting.
So.
How many songs?
7 or 8 songs.
Cool.
You do guitar on some of them.
I do.
Yeah.
The stuff we did.
I'll be playing some today, House of Straw. All the songs you did guitar on, most of them are on there.
It's so funny, though. We did that a long time ago. Like
a long time ago. But the thing is...
Was that a year ago? It was within the past year. Yeah.
But that's the importance of being yourself. I think when you're yourself and you make honest music, it lasts.
And it takes time.
Because those songs are so old, but they'll be relevant 5 years from now.
No, I agree.
So I'm just excited for the fourth quarter of this year, which we're in, and just grateful for Pounds because he didn't have to do what he's doing for me. This guy doesn't need me. but he brought me under his wing. He's teaching me
This
how
is
to
448, right? This is the crew?
448.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is Pounds right here. Can't really see it, but
You're
he's really taught me a lot. Business side, music side, and just the game in general. And it's opened up my eyes, and it's helped me become a better beast. You know, I've
That's
learned
awesome,
to
dude.
just talk less, do more. So I'm grateful for them.
Yeah, that's a really good place to end it, I think, too. Like, just the talk less, do more. Joe, I think we talked about it a lot, and this is probably the most insightful into the name of the podcast episode I've done so far. Where it's just like, yo, just be you, put your head down, and do your thing, and like cut all of the outside
Yeah.
noise that does not add value to your life.
Yeah.
There are
It's
things
rewarding, man.
there are things that add value to life. Learning about what's going on in the world and understanding and like reflecting on how you can always be a better person, all very valuable things. But just staying within yourself and being yourself within that mold and learning how to grow and continue to provide for yourself and other people around you. You know, it's super cool. I mean, I would love to maybe do a part 2 at some point. We could
I
probably
would love to too. 'Cause
talk
there's
like
so much
wrestling,
untold.
talk wrestling,
There's
talk
so much. Even my performances now. But
your performances now. We didn't talk about how we perform together.
Yeah,
I think tonight in the middle, I think one of the slots at like 4 in the morning, was we're gonna replay back some of the songs from when we did the.
Nice.
But who knows? We'll be
Yeah, we've had some amazing sets together. Man.
watching at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
But
We've had some monumental to my career. Like, you've been a part of some legendary sets
Appreciate
where
that.
it
I've had
really,
fun.
where I realized this shit is real as fuck.
yeah,
You
it's
know,
been
but consistency is key, bro.
that margarita show, man. That was
oh man,
that was
I'm
one
not
of my
even talking
favorite.
about that one, but Margarita one was probably
That was one of my
that's at
favorite
the
shows
top.
I've ever played.
That showed us the big picture. I think that showed me the big picture. I was like, there's something here.
Like there's
you know?
there's a community of people and it's so diverse and so amazing and like
Yeah.
all right, cool. So we're gonna hop off. I think AJ is gonna come back and we're gonna tune back in with Robin for like a half hour and then
All right.
Blasco is gonna perform and it's gonna be really dope. Thanks for watching.
But